Yes, and in Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave his annual address to the foreign press tonight, during which he touched upon the UN's perceived anti-Israel bias, the Iran nuclear deal, and many more international issues. But he reserved some of his strongest words for the Palestinians.
What also hasn't changed in the last 40 years is the endemic Palestinian rejection of the Jewish state and the incitement to violence. Palestinians rejected a Jewish state in 1937 and then in 1947. They again rejected their own state at Camp David in 2000 and then later in 2008. And since then, they've deigned to negotiate with me in 7 years, 6 hours, basically refusing to negotiate something that they claim they want, which is a political resolution of this conflict.
Yes, and I'm joined now by Eli Hochenberg from Jerusalem, our diplomatic correspondent for the News Today, who just attended the Israeli Premier's annual New Year's toast for foreign journalists. Eli, good evening. Hope you enjoyed the event tonight.
Thank you, Ayman. I did.
Well, Eli, one of the focal points, of course, for the international media in the past year was the Iran nuclear deal and Prime Minister Netanyahu's reservations on that deal. This deal is now reaching its final stages. Where does Netanyahu stand on that now?
Yes, well, there's no doubt that Israel is a much talked about nation. The Israeli Premier Benjamin Netanyahu is a much talked about leader, and his campaign against the nuclear deal with Iran is definitely a much talked about issue. And even 6 months after the agreement was signed, exactly 6 months, by the way, Netanyahu keeps on talking about Iran. Now, he doesn't have a lot of maneuverability to prevent such an agreement from taking place, but he continues to stress that Iran is dangerous, that Shiite radicalism is dangerous, and that the world should be aware of Iranian affairs when it comes to terror and regional influence. But, you know, the implementation phase is right around the corner. Only this week, the deputy Iranian foreign minister, Abbas Agrahi, a key member of the negotiated agreement, said that the implementation will be formally announced on Sunday. There is no confirmation from other officials, but U.S. State Department, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry did say that the implementation is days away. So whether it will be on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, the nuclear agreement is moving to the next phase, removing sanctions.
And Ali, of course, you're standing by for us in Jerusalem, and it's not only foreign policy that Netanyahu is concerned with. He has more than a handful of challenges in the political arena within Israel as well.
Absolutely. The domestic front is always busy, and the latest affair is the primary elections within the ruling Likud party, and the candidates, or lack of candidates, wishing to challenge Netanyahu's rule. Let's see more in the next report about a very hectic week for Benjamin Netanyahu.
These primaries are important for Israel as well, because they determine, first of all, to whom to give the authority to lead the Likud in order to lead the state, in order to safeguard the state.
The Likud primary has been decided without a vote. The winner, Benjamin Netanyahu. The Israeli premier had been pushing for an early primary election, claiming it was vital for the party to be prepared for national elections that could be held in 2019 at the latest. The catch: no other candidates rose to challenge Netanyahu. Despite the lack of competition, a motion was approved last month by the party's Central Committee to hold a primary on February 23rd. But Netanyahu's opponents within the Likud called for canceling the elections completely in order to avoid spending around $1 million on a needless procedure. On Wednesday, an internal Likud court agreed, deciding to renew Netanyahu's term unilaterally. Netanyahu's opponents were quick to compare the affair to authoritarian regimes, but one question must be asked: is Netanyahu really the one to blame for not having anyone who wishes to challenge his rule?